to Mass Gaming Session. I don't know if any of you guys ever experienced this when you're sort of buying games from eBay, when you've got a bid and wait for an auction to end, and then you're buying other things as buy it now or ordering directly on Amazon. You do this over a period of a couple of weeks, yet for some reason all of the parcels seem to turn up within a very short space of time, a couple of days in this case. The postman's been today with these boxes here. I did jump the gun a little bit before I thought I could actually film this, but it's not a very exciting game. It's this one doesn't even have a manual, so I'm not so bothered about having instruction manuals on games that I'm only going to play maybe once or twice in the whole time that I own it, because I'm not really a massive fan of sports games, but of course I'm trying to complete the entire UK PAL release PlayStation 1 collection. So that's 1,409 games last I checked, but don't quote me on that because I'm actually coming up with a comprehensive list, and I might find out as I'm collecting if there was any like special releases that weren't sort of recorded anywhere. But it's quite difficult to tell how many there were exactly, because obviously PAL releases were the UK and Europe and of course Australia, so that made it harder to know where games were released in those areas, because obviously Australia's the opposite side of the world to where I am. But yesterday I got these ones obviously already opened, so that was quite cool. Look, I'll show you so this is a manual for Blam Machinehead, which like I say, I'm not too bothered with manuals on games I'm not going to play much, but Blam Machinehead I remember from a few years back, so it was a very unusual game. By Core Design as well though, so it's still a sort of quality product. But yeah, these are from separate sellers, so I put in an offer on this one. They come back with a counter offer. It wasn't very much at all, like 12 quid I think it was, and then a fiver, which is probably a bit much, but where else am I going to get one? So I now have a complete one for that price, so that's another one off the list. I think this was from the same seller as Blam Machinehead. This is Razor Goes. Very good game actually. It's not very well heard of. If you bought this over Air Combat or Ace Combat, you really wouldn't be disappointed. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, I could obviously show this on a future video. Another sports game, NBA Live. There's obviously tons of NBA games, as well as the Madden stuff, a lot of the Football League, NHL games on PlayStation 1, even in the UK or Europe. Mille Miglia, which is a game I've actually been after. I've never actually played the full game. I had a demo of this back in the day when it came out on the official UK PlayStation magazine, and I love the idea of the race anyway, and in real life. And obviously this was a game made on that, but it was just one that just escaped me. When did it come out? Yes, it was year 2000, so of course that was approaching, although they made games right up to 2005 on PlayStation 1. I think I wasn't quite married then, was I? But life was changing. Obviously I was more of a 90s, throughout the 90s basically, when I first was buying and collecting games. But yeah, this is something that's complete, and also has the registration card, which is nice. Something I liked about this as well, which I saw, is that a lot of games, if you've got an enclosed map, they tend to go missing like the manuals do, but they actually printed this one on the front inlay, so that helps out a lot there. And it's another one in really good condition. Most of the cases are obviously falling apart. Overboard, this is getting quite. This was one of the games that sort of, I noticed, got quite expensive for a while. I think some were selling for close to 40 quid, but I didn't pay anywhere near that for this one, so can't remember what it was exactly, but it's another complete one. Check the disc condition yet. And this is another one where I've basically, so it's quite no offence to people who enjoy fishing, but quite a sort of boring game, but I need to collect all of the fishing games. This one's got a battered case and no front inlay, and I've also, is it actually? No, that's a different game, but I've also ordered a second copy of this. It was by itself. If you look at eBay, you can set the buy it now and a maximum price of games that are like £4 or something. You can even set free postage. And so, several copies of this game were listed, but the other copy that I've bought is basically a disc and inlay version with a missing manual, so I can basically put a complete one together. Hopefully the case on the other one's nicer. and then I can sell on the basically the disc and rear inlay only one in a bundle to obviously raise funds for the next batch. Finally, yeah, Dynasty Warriors I already have and had the game for quite a long time now. Well, I say quite a long time, I only started collecting it again this past year, but I had collected up to 1,000 PlayStation 1 games and then had to sell it all just after my daughter was born, so I've only started collecting again fairly recently, but I'm up to, well past halfway now. I must be pushing 800 games now again, but yeah, Dynasty Warriors I've had in the collection for the majority of that time anyway, but I know I haven't got a manual, so this was ordered from the same seller that was selling the manual for Blam Machinehead. So I have to pop that in when I get next in the game room, and same story as before, but the other copy hasn't arrived yet, like the Fisherman's bait. This is NHL Championship 2000. I've got a copy coming that has no manual. This was a disc and manual only one, but it was dirt cheap, so basically I don't need the disc, but it can be sold on. Or this disc might be in better condition. I'll obviously keep the better condition one of the two. So I'll have a complete copy when the other part of it arrives, basically. So yeah, that was everything that arrived yesterday, and this is today's stuff apart from the Madden NFL 2000, which I jumped the gun and opened that a bit early, but I'm pretty sure all of these are PlayStation 1. I have been getting a lot of Philips CDI games because that's something I am collecting, whether I aim to collect every title that was released, because obviously the Philips CDI, you had educational games as they were, general software, things like Contents Encyclopedia you find everywhere, VCDs that were purely for the Philips systems. So I think CDI and VCD are not necessarily the same. I think they're codecs or whatever they're called are different, but or whether I just collect the games for them. But again, I'm not that fussed. I need to concentrate on the PlayStation 1 collection, but if they are cheap, I'll still get them. But let's find out and get these open. And I think it's a bit of a shame this one, it's rattling, so it's not very well packaged because it's only got one layer of bubble wrap, but I mean, I'll be honest with this one, the listing, it was a bit of a strange one. The guy didn't actually have a list of the games from, this is eBay, from like a drop-down menu, which you normally find, and then normally find them to be way overpriced, so it like says make your own bundle, but when you actually add it all up, it's cheaper just to buy them individually from any seller. But yeah, this one was a bit different. He had a photo of all the games he had, and then it was just a drop down menu of quantity, not the specific title of the game. So I messaged him and just said, oh look mate, I'm after these two, and he said, oh yeah sure, I'll do you a deal on those. He quoted me a price and said, so the total will be 12 quid, and then when I selected it, it actually come to like 14.90 or something, 15 quid, but I don't think he realised that the FIFA 2005 for the PlayStation 1 is the last game in America, certainly. It's one of the last games in the UK and Europe. It might even be the last game, I'm not sure. It's something I'm going to have to research as the collection grows, as it were, but yeah, it's complete. Might as well check the disc on this one. Yeah, a little scratch, but that'll certainly work. Yeah, I've seen these go for like 25 quid, so even though he messed up and I've had to slightly overpay than what he quoted, I'm still quids in really, because this game's worth more than that. I would have been happy paying 25 quid for it, but yeah. So as usual, it's yeah, you can tell it was damaged in transit because of the, oh, blimey, they've all gone. It's lost its teeth. Yeah, so oh yeah, half of them have fallen on the floor. They're in here somewhere. You can hear them all rattling around. But yeah, if you do send PlayStation 1 games, just put a little bit of bubble wrap, folded kitchen tissue, anything you can in there, just to hold the CD against it. Because otherwise, what can happen is it comes loose, and then as the CDs move, it actually breaks the teeth in the case. But yes, Men in Black the game, I've owned that one before, and as in back when it was contemporary. Nice to see it again, but I'm going to need to get at least a case centre. Oh, I was taking a smack in there anyway, so yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's just going to need a new case. Well, might as well have these out and presented. While that's down, I've got a Roland Garros or Garros, however it's pronounced, because it's French. Roland Garros. Yeah, this is a bit of a shame, because when I opened it I thought the hinge itself was broken, and the lids, which are more fragile, that's actually survived. The little peg in it, it's the back part of the case, because it comes around here, so that's not quite as bad because it can still use the lid. So what I try and do is keep these boxes in one piece, because I can use these if I sell a individual game. It's a lot better to send them in a box like this than it is like a jiffy bag envelope. So yeah, where possible I'll reuse these. That's for my benefit, of course, nothing to do with that environmentalist nonsense. We have Moto Racer 2. Knife. Have a good condition one on a roll today. Yeah, that's in good nick as well. Yep, so I've got the first game already, and this so, yeah, hopefully completes it. When was this? A 98. These any good as spin liners? Oh, fantastic! They got holes in. Oh, they're even scented as well. These, yeah, guys use some bin liners as packaging, and skip forward because it's probably very boring. But yeah, I bought some new bin liners from Poundland or something earlier. Opened them up, put them in my kitchen bin, and they're too bloody short. They don't quite reach the bottom, but these are the perfect size. So got a little bonus with that one. All right, now for the games. Ooh, that's the chess. One of the chess titles. Yes, that's Checkmate 2. It's a generic case. I was hoping, because if you find, because this one's designed to have the hologram at the bottom of the PlayStation logo, but if you've got games that come out basically in 1995, 1996, and half of 1997, they didn't have that. The game's artwork was the full case with the PlayStation logo. They didn't have the strip at the bottom. All the American ones had it down here. So then Europe eventually decided to have a PlayStation strip on it, so it's seen like on a shelf what format it is. So you haven't got to sort of squint and see that where it was lost with other games. But yeah, it's rarer to find an original case without the hologram, and but of course it'll have PlayStation embossed on here as well. So this is actually an aftermarket or third party, whatever you call it, case. But yeah, I was hoping to obviously get as many of the ones without the holograms as possible, because all my early games I can then replace any of the cracked cases. But the disc is mint on that one. Not sure how many chess games actually. So this is one of the Phoenix games, because of so this is a later one, 2003. There are a few chess games on the PS1 actually that come out much earlier, probably ports from other systems or something, but no, I won't muck that up. I've already done it now. Just tuck it in there for now. But yeah, I'm surprised they sell really, because obviously computer chess is even by that time, I mean, you could probably get free software on a PC or something to do stuff like that. Miracle Space Racer, another one with a cracked back. Yeah, it's not in the best of shape, but seen plenty worse. Yeah, you see the hinge there's missing, the little nub that comes out to go in there, so the whole case is damaged on that, and even though it's not in too bad a shape, it's perfectly acceptable to have that on your shelf given how fragile PlayStation 1 cases are. another mint disc as well. This is another later release by Midas, who had Phoenix and Midas. They did some. I'm not sure if you call it shovelware, because shovelware tends to mean that you have a lot of like mini games on one disc, and they're all crap. But the idea is you're getting all these games for, you know, $14.99 or something by then. But yeah, these yeah, slightly different to that. I'm not sure if they sold these in a bundle where you could like buy 3 of the Midas or 3 of the Phoenix games for, I don't know, 30 quid or something. I can't actually remember then, because like I say, after the millennium, basically, I had a PlayStation 2, of course, but so I was more interested in you know, cars and women and stuff. By that time, I had less time for games. But interestingly, the most expensive game in the PAL region, at least, is a Phoenix game. It's called Cindy's Fashion World. I've got Cindy's Caribbean Holiday already. That tends to sell between about 80 to 100 quid, and Cindy's Fashion World, that's £1,000 plus. And at the moment, there's a couple on eBay for about 1,700 quid, which is too much, but it is a copy I'm going to need eventually if I'm going to complete the whole collection. But it just seems bizarre, of all of the games that could be seen as you know, the most valuable. It just turns out it's not how good the game is. The game's actually extremely buggy. It doesn't play on a PlayStation 1 properly, which is why it was released. They realised there was this bug and they pulled it, and I think only I don't know, a few hundred or whatever it was go out into the market, and that's what makes that one valuable. Whereas you know, really good games like Castlevania, they do, that's like the next most expensive game. That wasn't rare or anything. That is just a game that people just want to have. Strangely, the limited edition Castlevania seems to be more common than the one that's just in a single disc case like this. So another Midas. I've got a rattle. Another Midas game. This is shovelware. Yes, this is what I'm on about. You've got karting, biking, Grand Prix. I mean, some of them aren't that bad. It's just, yeah, just by that time. This is a 2002 release. So little bits. So we got, yeah. So the centre of this case is. Luckily, I've got plenty of these inner inserts anyway. It's the outer cases that I struggle to find. Very minor scratches. I'll leave that in there for now then, if the CD's going to be floating about. But yeah, it just goes to show that little bit of bubble wrap in there didn't do much to protect the centre. So the NBA titles are, again, there's quite a few, so you have to slog away at trying to get. And this one's got a missing front inlay. The case is a bit knacked, and you may remember, I think, yeah, it was NBA 97. This was one of the cardboard case releases. There weren't that many, but it was surprising to see one that late, because by 97, obviously the cases were all available, because the sales figures were all projected and everything. But I don't know if you remember these. They had a blue cardboard one with a basketball texture stuck on it as well, and I never liked those, because when you've got even the cardboard cases themselves, I mean, at least the other ones were black and white, so from a distance it would still look like that. But when you've got them all lined up on a shelf, to have this bright blue one, and it's obviously thick as well, so you can see the orange bit sticking out the side, it doesn't look very good. So I actually prefer to have this non-fancy collector's one, or a second printing, whatever you might call it, but I didn't check the disc today. Scratched to death, but what's that then? Oh, I thought it was like a library stamp or something, but it's actually the basketball itself. So there we go, we've got another Madden game. That was, what was the other one? So it's, yeah, 2000 was the other one. I'll just go back here somewhere, hold tight. Ooh, don't drop them, those cases are fragile. There we go. Yes, it's Madden 2000 and 2001 now, so, yeah, look at that, they've changed the font size for some reason, but, so it makes it interesting. They're very interesting, like me. So I was just on about the cardboard box ones. This is what I'm on about. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 3, when it was first released, this had a cardboard case. So I do already have Mortal Kombat 3. It's just that because these cases are different, I'll keep this one in the collection as well. So that's going to make obviously keeping count a bit not difficult per se, but I'll be like working out how many games I've got numerically on a particular shelf and just add them all up together, and then think, oh, I'm certain percentage away through the collection, and I'll be slightly further away because of course I'll have a lot of these duplicates, but they're in different cases. I've got a few loose discs anyway of Mortal Kombat 3, so but yeah, it's nice to have. I can't remember, was it 5 games I think in this case, and then total NBA 97, or was it 4 and that? Because Warhawk, Tekken 1, Mortal Kombat 3, total NBA, like I said, but that was a bit later. What was the others? Oh, it will come to me. I should really know all the stuff off by heart by now. Right, so of course with these bundles, a lot of these I've already got in the collection. But Alien Resurrection, I will need to, if this is better than the copy I already have, I'll obviously swap it, but I do have it already. This was another game that was selling for quite a lot of money. I think people were, I don't know why, was there a new Alien film out or something, and then yeah, it sort of pushed the price up a little bit. But I don't think it sells for quite so much anymore, but I might get 15 quid for it. But the case is so nice, I'm probably going to have to rob this one for something else anyway. What's the disc like? Very minor scratches, so this might actually be better, apart from the little kink in the manual here, but that might actually be better than the copy I've already got. This I already have, Water's Red Sun. Sometimes I like them if they've got if it's not covering the artwork too much, just to keep ones with original labels, because it just lets you know that the cases themselves are original. Give you an example with the Wipeout that I might have in this box, assuming it come with this bundle. Okay, King's 99, which is I think I've got 90, 98 and 99, it's just, yeah, it's a 2000 and 2001 I need. Another Hard Trilogy. It's a shame the case is buggered, because it's still slightly better than the other one. What was the other game that, yeah, it's a total NBA with the chunk missing out the corner here. I could actually swap the cases. Actually no, I can't, because again, the holograms, so from a certain point in 1997 they started having the holograms. This game came out in 1995. It doesn't have a hologram, even if it's a slightly weirder case, because you'll notice this isn't in a standard PlayStation case. It's one of these cheap games. Was this by 3DO or not? No, it's Talonsoft. I thought 3DO made these, but yeah, these were basically a budget range of games. So year 2000, yeah, the special ops games, and yeah, lots of them. And I think they were only, so these were like platinum range money when, yeah, basically the platinum range was the only sort of official budget titles you could get before then. So another copy of this. I've had plenty of these before and already have one. This is in lovely condition. This looks alright, so this might be better than the one I've got. Probably not, because I've had so many copies of it. I'm bound to have had a decent one by now. But anything like this label could be straight. In which case, yeah, I'd upgrade or improve my own collection. That's absolutely fine. And it is one that I'm sure bumped the price up a bit. Nightmare Creatures 2 costs a hell of a lot of money for some reason. I mean, I had Nightmare Creature. I loved the demo of it, so as soon as it came out, I bought it contemporary when it was contemporary. I can't say I loved the game when I played it, because it was again, it's something I shouldn't really because I'm like doing reviews while I'm supposed to be doing an unboxing. But in short, basically, each level, the fog is supposed to be poisoned, so you have to keep your adrenaline up, and it means you're on a timer. And if you don't get into a fight to pump your adrenaline up, you end up just dying because you've run out of monsters to beat up and you can't find your way out of the level, and plus it doesn't let you explore the levels. And I mean, it's like not quite steampunk, but it's like a Victorian London, but with monsters in it. So it would have been nice to actually explore the levels, which you can't do. But this one's another one with the little teeth out, but yeah, they're in there as well. So this might have even been damaged in transit. It's a shame, because this isn't as valuable as Nightmare Creatures 2, but I think it's still a 25 to 30 quid game. and because I got it in a bundle, obviously that's. I mean, the idea of buying the games in the bundle, so I was swapping some of my duplicates. A guy came around who was fairly local. He said that, yeah, we basically just did a trade. I gave him 20 quid and a couple of games, and he gave me a few games that I needed. It was proper value for value, but he said he doesn't buy bundles, he only gets the games individually, whereas I prefer to buy bundles because you tend to pay less for each individual game, but the downside is obviously you're getting loads of duplicates, and the more games you have in your collection, the more duplicates you're going to get in each bundle. But then that does tend to mean that it motivates me to pay a little bit more for the bundles that have got a lot of games that I still don't have in yet. But yeah, the idea is I try and sell the duplicates for as much as I can, or pinch the cases, or nick manuals out if the ones I've got are incomplete. Whether it works out that way or not, it probably doesn't, but what I try and aim to do is get as much money back as I can, so I'm paying like next to bugger all for games that would otherwise be 25-30 quid on their own. Ooh, pardon me. Oh, it's another one that costs a lot, but this one's missing its inlay, unfortunately. But Contra Legacy of War, it's obviously nothing like Contra on the NES, if you guys remember playing that at all. I mean, I wasn't ever a Nintendo guy anyway. It's in the 8-bit era. I was, 1986 I had an Atari 2600, 1990 I had an Atari ST. Yeah, I didn't have a games console, the 2600 is a games console, but I didn't have any of the the true 8-bit systems, the NES or the Master System, until a lot later when they were, cheap car boot sale stuff. I actually had 2600, Atari ST, which is a computer basically, an IBM PC, and it wasn't until the PlayStation 1 came out that I actually had a proper dedicated games console. But because it had such a massive impact on my life then, this is why I'm sort of obsessed with collecting PlayStation 1 stuff now. But anyway, back to this copy of Contra. Yeah, it's so like I say, it's missing the front inlay, but it's another bloody aftermarket case, which is a shame. Yeah, so, because of course they make the cases where the insert fits in fine, but it still doesn't look quite right when it's on the $14.99. Imagine paying that now. Yeah, so Contra, I mean, I've seen these, they were like, it's buy it now prices are like 100 to 130, and I think I was bidding on one that was being auctioned, and somebody just with bid sniping software, they beat me to it by, how it is, you get a quid or 2 quid or something, but I mean, you have to set what your actual maximum is, and then the last 5 seconds hit place bid, and then you just got to hope their sniping software doesn't get, but yeah, if they do, but I've got it now anyway, and if one day I get a front inlay, or I could get a reproduction one, because a lot of these more expensive games, you find that people are making the reproduction inlays anyway, and I'm not sure, because I haven't got any yet, but what the quality are like. And there's somebody actually in the same town I live in who's got an eBay shop. They're called Infinite Games, and it's Infin 8 with a figure 8 at the end. Infinite Games, who do all these covers and stuff, but I'm not convinced the back ones where they fold, they seem to have a white line on. But yeah, I'll have to buy some eventually anyway, so I can actually do a sort of review on those at some point. So Contra's sort of going off on a tangent here, but yeah, the game is still a run and gun, jump around and shoot, but it's they've made it 3D. And with this one, I believe you can actually set a 3D mode, so it makes the screen, have the red and green or red and blue, whatever it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I didn't notice the 3D logo there. So if you put 3D glasses on, you can play it, and it's supposed to pop out at you. But things like that are a bit of a gimmick. I don't have that one, but I do have Project Overkill. There's always a really nasty deep, I don't know if you can see it quite in the light there, but there's a deep scratch in there. That'll be a pain if that doesn't work. Tekken 3, which I do of course have, but it's so far it feels like a nice case. But yeah, Tekken 3's I think you can get 10 to 15 quid, easily a tenner, and I think if you ask 15, a bit patient, somebody would pay it. Really good condition actually, so do I have that? I think even my copy's got that insert there, so but if not, I'll swap that with mine. And we do have Speedball 2010. It's a real case. It's rattling. And we have another smashed up centre thing as well. So looks like my supply of these is going to be taking a bit of a beating soon. Which is a shame, because you can never get like the perfect ones turn up anymore, can you? Because it's I mean, they are so fragile anyway. If you're sending them through the post, it's like, what do you expect? There's a little crack in it. But yeah, so if you get a nice outer case, you've got to do something with the inside, or the disc will be scratched or something. Yeah, it's always bloody something. And yet another copy of Street Fighter. Yeah, so there's loads of Street Fighter games that cost a bloody fortune on the PS1, and this isn't one of them. This is another maybe 10 to. Again, like Tekken, you might get 15 quid for it. Why do they put these bloody things on? I know stealing's horrible, but it shouldn't be a burden on everybody else. But this is one I'm going to be selling on, or like I said, oh, it's got a broken case anyway. Because I think, let me just check, because on eBay at the moment I've got a big bundle of games listed for 100 quid, and there's no offers. I haven't got any offers on there. I've had a few messages now saying, "Oh, do you take 70?" and all things like that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I've already got the platinum one in this bundle. You see that's one of the cases that I don't mind going, because if there's little bits of damage on it, I do obviously describe it as such. People send me stuff with broken cases, I'll be sending them out with broken cases. So but it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for people to get them a little bit cheaper. Shut. There we go. Hey, look, because putting that security thing on the back, you can't even stack it up properly. Yeah, so one I don't have yet, Shoalin. I don't think I've even played it. I haven't, no. Did I have this in my last collection? So, like 2012. In 2012, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it is 12 years ago now, isn't it? Nearly longer than that, because we're in November already. Lovely, so that's another one off the list. Oh, I jumped to Wipeout, because that's what I boring you about earlier, about having the stickers. Now, I've got Wipeout and Wipeout 2090. Well, I've got all the Wipeouts for the PS1, including the rare double case one, and while I'm here, it's up on here, I do have a non-stickered one, which I should explain first. So, yeah, this is the double case Wipeout. If you ever see them about, grab it, because they're rare. At one point they were going for about 100 quid, but that's dropped off a little bit now, so I don't think you'd get quite that for it. But yeah, the Wipeout games, the first releases, I mean, they might have put them on the Platinum range ones, I can't remember, but yeah, they put the music stickers on of the bands. So you had this pinky purple one on Wipeout 2097, and you've got this yellow one on here. Now, my copies of the Wipeout games I got are all in excellent condition, but I don't have the labels. Obviously, they've been put in replacement cases, and let's just see what I can swap discs over anyway, because they are identical. You have very minor scratches, so it's obviously probably been an adult ownership. Now, you see the manual on the original release of Wipeout is this chunky boy here, so it's got all of the languages in a single manual. Now, this isn't obviously the copy that I've got in my collection, because the one I've got is complete. This is just inlays and discs, so I am selling this a lot cheaper than, again, it's just to give somebody the opportunity to own the double case version of Wipeout, but it's incomplete. But you'll notice the space to put a manual in isn't as big, because I would have put one of my duplicate copies of Wipeout, I would have put the manual in this more valuable one if it would fit. But no, the double case versions of Wipeout actually had two separate manuals with the languages. There's about 6 languages in total, so you had 3 in each side. So, and of course, a lot of people with the one that was in foreign languages they didn't speak, they would have just thrown away as well. So it does make finding a double case one with both of the manuals in even rarer. And of course, it is just one disc, like a lot of the early PlayStation games where they didn't have enough of this type of case. They had to use these double ones as a go between, and then later, obviously, the games that were on multiple discs, you had to have a case like this to put your 4 and sometimes even 5 game discs in. They did do a insert that you could put on the lid here for this type of case, so you can still have games with 2 discs in a case like this. But yeah, something to bit of PlayStation trivia there. That's very interesting facts there. But yeah, chances are this one will become my the one for my collection, and I can sell the very good one just without the label onto somebody else now. It's Akuji The Heartless. I have got a disc and manual for this, but not the full one, and this one's complete anyway with the registration card. Lovely. Can't remember what I think I've played a quick on a demo or something. I can't remember it. Oh, this is a bit of a pain because I bought Battle Arena Toshinden, so this is an example. This was one of the first games on the PlayStation. There was 10 games on at the UK launch. This was one of them. It's the second game to come out, which is, will you focus yet? SCES 00002. But yeah, there's no hologram on this one because like I was saying, it was an early one. Now what I did is I wanted basically to have all 10 of the PlayStation launch titles to do a video. Well, it's just nice to have all the launch titles anyway, but yeah, I was just going to just do a video talking about the launch titles. Of course, I do have them all now, but I bought Battle Arena Toshinden very recently and had to pay a lot for it because it was a standalone game, and yeah, and now I've got one in this bundle. It's Murphy's Law and all that. But yeah, like the Wipeout there, this one might be in better condition, so I could, yeah, obviously sell the other one on, but not before changing the case for a hologram type. So I've got another spare early type. I've had a million copies of this in bundles before. This one's very nice condition, good case. Yeah. Soviet Strike, another early game with no hologram, and case is in good nick, is it? Yep. Complete. So again, might be another one I swap for the one that's already on my shelf, or shelves. Ah, now the most expensive one of this entire bundle, which is why this went for a fortune. In fact, pause it here, Rick. I'll be back in just a minute when I go on my laptop. Yeah, I thought so. 300 quid this whole lot was, so yeah, whether I think I worked out how much each game is sort of really worth individually and how much I was sort of wanting to get it for, and sort of met somewhere in the middle there, and yeah, I literally got it at, I was the one this time who was bid at the very last second. I was like £1 or £2, whatever the minimum increase was, before the last guy's bid snipe, so yeah, very lucky to have got this one. I've actually missed a bundle today though, so it doesn't always work like that, and I'm gutted as well because it was weren't quite as many as this, but it was like 60% of the games I hadn't got, and a lot of them were quite weird and rare as well, and they all had the correct cases, they all had manuals. I was absolutely bloody gutted because I sort of bid 130 quid and it went for 132, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I would have paid that, but you guys probably experienced it anyway. But so another early one, no holograms, nice to have the original case. Case seems to be in good order. I won't mess up that inlay just yet. Oh, the cases, the disc has come out. Yeah, light scratches, but nothing to worry about. Of course, the game's terrible, but it's oh, so yeah, that's another one I've got. I've been trying to get just like a back inlay or something, because I've had the disc for this game for WWF In Your House for ages, but yeah, oh, it's nice to have it complete. Well, it's weird this one, because I think if you look at bids and what people pay for this game, they don't come up that often, but it's not like a super rare game or anything, but yeah, they tend to, I think they go for about between 90 and 100, maybe just over 100, but if you look at all the ones, there's probably 2 or 3, but that are listed, they tend to ask like 130 to 160 or something daft and that, but I suppose it's, I mean, the idea of price gouging, it's called, it's a good way of, it's making a product available for the people who really want it, so it's not, that's sort of the law of supply and demand. And of course, if somebody's selling one for 160 and 2 years later it's still there for 160, obviously it's overpriced. There's nobody willing to pay that for it, so therefore it's not worth that amount. So yeah, that's how pricing should work, at least with the Austrian School of Economics. But yeah, very pleased to get this one now, because that is one of the higher end titles as a collector's item. It's not a good game by any stretch of the imagination. I think it would have been better if they made it 2D actually, because it's it concentrated on the 3D engine so much, and it made the gameplay absolutely awful. Yeah, X-Men Mutant Academy. I've got X-Men Mutant Academy 2 and free phone, free X-Men merchandise. But yeah, I've been waiting to get this one, which has been several bundles that I've been outbid on and ended up losing on. But at last I have it, and it's a very good example to have. So yeah, something to bear in mind if you do lose bundles that you're bidding on. And like I say, where I rushed in with the Battle Arena Toshinden, if you end up with the game later, you'll probably get it in much better condition than I would have done if I'd won this in one of the previous bundles. And of course, if I had a few more of these games, I might not have paid as much for this 300 quid box, and therefore I would have lost it. So you've got to sort of think about these things really, and not be disappointed in losing out. This one I've had it's Tomorrow Never Dies. I've had gazillions of copies of, but another beautiful condition case, and it's not cracked. Yeah, so it's just a platinum, pretty much worthless game. I mean, it's a bit unfair. Yeah, pretty much worthless game. It's yeah, one of the ones that you could probably maybe get 3 or 4 quid for or something now. And this was described in the listing where it's had damage, but again, Apocalypse I've had several copies of it already. Good game. I actually bought this brand new. So I was following the I'm going off on a tangent again, but I'll just be brief. So Apocalypse, when it was being made with Bruce Willis in it, he was going to be your sidekick originally. The game was made where he would follow you around and back you up, and you were supposed to be like cops in the future or something, I think. And of course, all of his voice dialogue was recorded for that game, which never happened, and they had to basically throw this together when the project was put on hold and then brought back a bit later. They throw this together, and then anything Bruce Willis is saying in this game, and where it's in the cutscenes as well, they just have to use whatever he said in the for that last game as your sort of buddy sidekick. So what it meant was that when the ending, yeah, spoiler alert, I mean it is an old game, in the ending sequence he ends up getting possessed by the fanatical scientisty, weird religious-y figurehead. Yeah, he kills him, and then he ends up getting the character you play as in it is Trey Kincaid, I think his name was, if it rings a bell, or am I thinking of another game? Oh yeah, no, it's on here, Trey Kincaid. It's yeah, I've played this game and completed it multiple times, and I actually really like it. I think it's yeah, great gameplay, and yeah, it was just disappointing that the original concept for the game was completely changed, but they still made a good game out of it. And I've got loads of copies of this. I've even got one of the review copies, you know, the ones that's just a disc and they print the instructions on the inside of the lid like a rental game, but that's the one they send to magazines before it's released so they can review it and such. But yeah, shame about the case, but if the lid is good, then like I say, the hinges and stuff, the lids that are the most commonly damaged, so if you can keep throw away the backs and what I've got up here. Yeah, so ignore the stuff on there, and just but yeah, there's some lids that are okay. I keep those even if the backs of the cases are mullered, because they're the most commonly broken part. So there's a few more of the teeth that have come out of the CD holders in the cases, but yeah, it was a pretty good haul overall, because, well, all this is stuff I've ordered online, but I did a charity shop run today and it was very successful, so I'll be doing a video on that soon as well. But yeah, these are the games I already have in the collection, but some of these might be in better condition. These are games to all obviously sell on, even if they're swapped. Then with the funds of that I could use to buy other games, and all of these ones. So we've got it's slightly higher than this by one game luck. So these will all be going in the collection. That's a few more off the list. Not sure if this video is going to be out before I've actually shown the PlayStation 1 collection so far. But I've got a lot of organising to do because a lot of the well, I've run out of shelf space basically. I've bought a couple of CD racks, IKEA rubbish and that, but yeah, just to help keep them a bit better organised. But it's not looking very presentable at the moment. But I'll get a lot of these once I've put them back in alphabetical order again. I'll do a more comprehensive video on the PS1 collection. But thanks very much for joining me for this sort of unboxing of yesterday and today's post. And if you should have some more soon anyway. Might do a separate video on obviously the CDI stuff because people might be watching it for obviously different reasons, but or not at all. But in any case, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.